Hello, welcome to the Weather Hazard Briefing presented by National Weather Service for Tuesday, October 8th. Here's what you'll see in this presentation. We have a weak low pressure sliding through this southwesterly upper level flow that we have. This will bring some increased cloudiness, and maybe there's just the slightest chance of some showers in the southern hills. That would be the south central portion of Idaho. It will also slow the warming we've been seeing, and hopefully will increase the humidity, at least to keep a lot of areas out of critical levels for fire weather considerations. Yesterday, actually, we had widespread below 15% relative humidity, especially in the central Idaho mountains. This should relieve some of that partially today and more tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're also looking for some increased wind behind this cold front as it drives through. And then on Thursday, conditions will be cooler. Hopefully cooler means also the humidity will continue to run high. However, in all of that, you saw that there was no real significant mention of any sort of precipitation. And you'll see even in the extended portion, there's not much going on either. Here's a satellite over the Pacific Ocean. You can see the large low parked here in the Gulf of Alaska, sending impulses that will be going through Canada and maybe the Pacific Northwest, but by the time it gets to our longitude, it is way north. You can see here the clouds that we are expecting for today just coming in. We'll take a closer look at that on the next slide here. And so this is what's going to create, at some point where you live, more than likely, so at least some partly sunny or partly cloudy conditions, which would be 30 to 50% cloud cover. And you can see the further you are south, the more extensive that cloud cover will be and the longer it will last. So for today, during the afternoon and early evening, the South Hills, there is just a very slight chance of showers. This has been going in and out of having it in the weather risk outlook for the last previous 3 days, and it is back today. Looks like to stay. And then on Thursday, after that front comes through, there is a slight chance of showers. This is mostly the Lemhi County, so this next sort of front will actually be driving through on Thursday. It will be more to the north. And then on Friday, that might expand to include the southeast highlands as well. And then on Saturday, there is a slight chance of showers in most of our mountain zones. We'll see if that holds. That has not been here previously. But right now, and again, this is barely mentionable, which for us, our threshold is about 12%, and it just barely reaches that criteria. All right, so for today, you can see it's showing some showers. There's no thunderstorms with this, as this would imply, but it will be showery precipitation coming up around the high and with this weak trough that is passing through today. Here's the one for the next day. You can see it's still out in the Pacific, but it is close to reaching the coast this morning. So what does it do today? We have warmer temperatures. We have a lot of locations here in the eastern Magic Valley and in the southern hills at the lower elevations breaking the 80-degree threshold, and even Pocatello getting to 81. Meanwhile, Stanley at 75. And you can see here on the right-hand side the relative humidity. There's still a lot of places where it will get to 15% or below, but not as widespread as yesterday. You can see some of the higher elevations actually staying above 25%, which we have not seen in a while. However, today, this low is not producing much in the way of wind. You can see there's some 25 to 30 mile an hour, but it's only really on the extremely high ridges in the central Idaho mountains and over here between Idaho Falls and Swan Valley. And then overnight lows, you can see improved recovery in a lot of locations from what we've been having lately. The darker the orange is, the worse the humidity recovery is, which means fires, if they're established, will continue to burn actively during the overnight, unless it gets to some of these green thresholds, which would be more than 50%. So, there won't be any issues in the Snake River Plain or Eastern Magic Valley, but definitely up in the mountains where we do have inversions, we tend to hold on to this drier air. And you can see 51 degrees for the overnight low in Pocatello. That's actually pretty mild. Right, here's for Wednesday. You can see the low is making its approach as it does. This is in the morning. Again, it brings no precipitation at all. You see none forecast here, but it does bring an increase in wind, and the wind threshold has been is higher and stronger than it was when we were forecasting this for Wednesday yesterday. So the trend is going up. And here you can see temperature is also going up. Pocatello 82. So a lot of the areas down in here up a degree or two. And the relative humidity still some places below 15%, but sort of the Arco Desert and then the Chalice Basin, and then here in the Leadore area, this would be the Birch Creek drainage that heads down and into the Snake River Plain. But a lot of it, just hovering just slightly above what we consider critical threshold, which that would be 15%, sort of where the dividing line is, but a lot of it's at around 20% or so, especially in our eastern portions. Here are the gusts for Wednesday. Like I said, this is going to be the windier day. You can see we actually now have areas of 35 to 40 mile an hour gusts. A lot of it 30 to 35 and 25 to 35 throughout the central Idaho mountains. So it's going to be very close for some of these locations to be at what we call red flag conditions, which is, contributes to high fire danger. You can see, though, even through Wednesday night, there's not much wind down here in the Snake River Plain or in any of the eastern or southern highlands. Overnight on Wednesday night, temperature's not much different. Maybe a little bit more mild with the cloud cover, but continuing. But a lot of them in the 40s, in the 30s here in Stanley, getting below freezing. And recovery is about the same as it was the night before. All right, then at 8 a.m. on Thursday, you can see the front being driven through with colder air behind it. And again, there's no precipitation with this front at all. So the temperatures on Thursday, cooler. You can see now that we have no areas forecasted to be above 80 degrees. Pocatello back down to 79. So we're down about 4 to 6 degrees across the board. And relative humidities, there's a limited area where it gets below 15% here in the Arco Desert, but otherwise everything 16% or higher, and a lot of areas above 20. And the winds, you can see it's still a little bit breezy, 25 to 30 here in some of these higher elevations of the Central Idaho Mountains, and it does sort of spill down into portions of the basically areas around craters of the moon and the Arco to Mud Lake area. But again, we're expecting higher relative humidity here, well above critical thresholds. And then lows for Thursday night, about the same. Again, 30 degrees in Stanley, 50 degrees in Pocatello. And here are the maximum humidities for Thursday night. You can see it's, again, about the same. There's still a lot of places in the mountains or in the highlands that do have poor recovery, especially the further south you go. That's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at this telephone number here, or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.